We've only had one horse way back. One of the first horses I treated. It was a stakes class filly, but she was bleeding. She'd been bleeding so hard for so long that she hated the world. They had to take her to the track with the pony, and she hated to go to the track because she knew it was going to hurt. When the blacksmith worked on her, she had to have tranquilizers because she didn't want him even to fool with her. She just wanted to be left alone. The first 3 times we treated her, I had to use Rompum on her, which is a tranquilizer, in order for her to otherwise she'd flip out. She tried to flip over the first time we put it on her. Well, after the 3rd time, and then just 3 treatments, we got a pretty good response with her from that time forth. We didn't have to use the tranq anymore. She come right to the front of the stall, and she was very receptive to it. I talked to the blacksmith about 2 weeks later. I said, "How are you getting along with that filly that we?" And I forget her name now. I treat so many of them, but anyhow, how do you get along with that filly? And he said, "Well, I don't even have to tranq her anymore. And she went to track by herself. She got as sweet as a piece of candy because she wasn't hurting anymore. We controlled the bleeding." She went on to win 3 or 4 stakes and several $100,000. But that's the only one I've ever had to tranquilize, and it can be done if you have a real problem horse. Sometimes horses that are really high strung, and Pam will attest to this, even when you nebulize them, if something goes on, a truck goes by, or they get spooked, they will rear up and they'll back up, but then they'll come right back to you. We had some horses that were pretty radical, and we'd put lip chains on them, and we'd have them tied down tight. Pam came on board. Pretty soon she's doing it without a halter. So
I don't put a halter on one of my horses right now. But when you speak of the bleeding, and a lot of people, we speak in racetrack lingo that people don't understand. But I mean, it is amazing, and it doesn't sound as amazing when you speak in those terms. It's almost like taking a child that's in a full-blown asthma attack and asking them to go perform at their best. And every animal that I treat is compromised to the point where they shouldn't even be an athlete, yet this product has brought them to where they're winning races at top levels. And that's, I mean, having no lungs is like having no legs, and it's amazing. And I mean, I don't know if people understand how amazing that is, to be compromised to that extent and still have a record like your product has.
Yeah, we've been very happy, and here again, what we're doing is we're just putting that body back into homeostasis. We're getting it back to where it's like rebooting a computer. When you have a computer that's going slow, what do? They completely wash the hard drive clean and reinstate a clean slate of things, and your computer goes back to working properly. And I think we're doing about the same thing with these horses. We're really rebooting that whole immune system to the point where it's become more efficient to take out the various stresses and strains of performance. And all our horses is a pasture animal. They're usually out in the pasture grazing all day and all night, and we put them in a stall, 12 by 12 stall, 23 out of 24 hours. And that stress alone is really detrimental to the horse's immune system, but I don't think people realize how detrimental it is. But I think that's where we are helping to breach that gap. So.